Stocks our strategists feel are poised to deliver positive returns are featured now in their top stock picks of the week.
A retailer and an automaker top this week's picks list. Nina Mishra, who's here with me, and Brian Boland remotely will give us more details on each of those picks. Nina, we'll start with you. Best Buy is what you're looking at.
Yes, so it has not been easy environment for most brick and mortar retailers due to challenge from Amazon and overall trend for shopping online. Best Buy is one of the very few retailers that have been able to grow their sales and earnings in this environment. So over the past 3-4 years, they have focused a lot on their merchandise, their in-store shopping experience, and also on their online channel, and that is paying off now. About 70% of the U.S. population lives within 15 minutes of a Best Buy store.
That's interesting.
So that is why it is easy for them, for the shoppers to, shop online, buy things online, and then pick up in a Best Buy store. And in most cases, they ship within 2 days, and of course, shipping to store is free. In many cases, they match Amazon's prices too. So that is why their online sales have been rising. In fact, during the latest quarter, their online sales grew 10%, which was in fact a little slower compared to the previous quarters, where they saw sales growth in the range of 23-25% and like that. So their latest results also were pretty good. They beat both on the top and bottom lines and also raised their guidance. And you can see that analysts like the results, and they raised the estimate for the company. It was third consecutive quarter of earnings beat. And in fact, if you look at the longer term price consensus and EPS surprise chart, it looks pretty impressive. They have missed only once in the past 20 quarters. And another reason to like Best Buy as of now is Sears bankruptcy. Sears has filed for bankruptcy. They have been closing their stores, and according to Loop Capital, about 85% of Sears stores are within 5 miles of a Best Buy store. So if Sears goes into liquidation and they close their stores, then Best Buy could be a big beneficiary from that event. Now, looking at other details, the stock looks pretty good. It has got A for value, looking at style scores, A for growth. Momentum, of course, has not been there. And VGM score of A. It's a Zacks rank 2, buy ranked stock, and it reports next month, 15th of November, and has an earnings ESP of 6.34%, which means that according to our model, it is likely to beat earnings estimates again. Further, it has a nice dividend yield of about 2.5%. That also looks good. And industry rank and sector rank are in the top 11% and 25% respectively.
Did they just raise that dividend?
Not recently, but they have been raising their dividend consistently over the past few years.
Yeah, okay. Brian, Tesla, you're still driving it.
Can you believe I'm still on this Tesla story? It's been how many years now? But it's a very interesting story, of course, and it really captivates the market. So my pick of the week is Tesla, and it's TSLA for those of you who've been living under a rock and don't know the ticker symbol. It is currently a Zacks rank number 3 on a hold, and it has an F for value and a C for growth. But if we take a look at the stock price today, it is $275. It's up 5.5%, 14 bucks. And the question is kind of like, why is that? And the idea is that we were all expecting earnings to come out on November 7th, as you can see there. But last night, there was a release from the company, and the earnings are going to come out tomorrow after the close. So, the idea here is like something is going on. Why do we normally report on the Wednesday into the new month around the quarter there? Why do they do something like that and then all of a sudden report the quarter 2 weeks early? Well, you can see here that this isn't the bulls going, oh my gosh, 2 weeks early, this is bad news. No, it's the bears going, wow, you don't put good news under a bushel basket for no one to see. You raise it up on high so that the light can shine down. At least that's the current interpretation of what's coming on here for Tesla. So let's take a look at just a couple things that I want to go a little bit different other than looking at the Zacks rank, because it's a 3. We're going to see earnings estimates kind of holding still in front of the quarter. The earnings ESP is negative, so the last estimate that came in was not that good. It was 50% below the consensus. But I want to talk about what the bears are probably really focusing in on here. So let's jump over to the valuation idea. This comes from us. This chart is coming out of Research Wizard here, the Zacks Research Wizard, and it is the Tesla price to sales. And we can see that this is a chart that spans September 2010 to August 2018. Price to sales is kind of one of these metrics you use when you don't have earnings, and the company still doesn't have earnings right now. So if we take a look at how this line has trended, you can see that it has been moving lower over the last several years, and we have a 4 times, that's 4 times sales. So and with that number moving lower, it's going to head down to a 3 times sales pretty soon. So obviously the valuation is kind of one of those ideas that the bears want to talk about, or they should be talking about. Of course they're not. They're really talking just about execution of the product. So you want to see like what else are we talking about in terms of valuation? Well, here's price to book. Now this is a more conservative measure for a company. Again, this is a very long-term price chart here. You can see when the price got very high and there wasn't a lot of book value, that the price to book was very high. And then the next quarter, when there was maybe a movement lower in the stock price as well as a move higher in the assets for the company, you had that dramatic drop there. But since then, we can see that this number has moved steadily lower. But ironically, while the stock has been very volatile over the last year, we see the price to book has remained pretty constant here at right around 10. So that's kind of amazing here. Your value strategy on a stock like this would suggest that because the price has been all over the place, you would think that the price to book would sway dramatically too, but it hasn't. And that's basically because the assets have been ever increasing, and that's something that the bears don't want you to think about. They don't want you to know because they want you to focus again on those execution ideas. Now, if we take a look at the 2018 sales estimate, this is where the rubber meets the road. Terry, I knew that you were going to love that pun.
Yeah.
Because it's a car company, right? But here we see sales estimates for 2018 have just been constantly moving higher. I mean, here and there we do have little dips, like right there, right here. This is a nice little dip, and sometimes there is a slight trend lower, but for the most part, we see elevators up, up when there's big movements. These would be, other either Model 3 announcements or projections, basically, for what's going to happen. But we can see that the number's been moving up here, and we're just shy of 20 billion in sales for this year. But numbers moving higher is certainly the trend, and that's certainly the takeaway from this one. I got one more chart on this same idea. Now we're going to look at 2019. And we're going to be like, oh boy, they want to talk about demand growth is evaporating and all these, ideas are, that this is a one-trick pony and Tesla's going to be done here pretty soon as they fill out all these orders for the Model 3. That's just not the case, because these are the 2019 sales estimates. And you can see that these things, of course, are moving up here. and we're approaching 27 billion in sales. So this year, 20 billion. Next year, 27 billion. The growth story is alive and well for Tesla. The idea that the company is going to be reporting earnings 2 weeks early is only a positive. We're looking for that elusive, profitability measure that's probably going to be coming here in this quarter. They've guided for it for next quarter as well. Is this the short burn of the century? I don't know, but I would think that this is an indication that good news is coming after a lot of turbulence in the Tesla story.
All right. Do you own this one or Best Buy?
I own Tesla, I own common stock, and I own calls.
All right. And Nina, do you own Best Buy or Tesla?
I own Tesla in my personal trading account.
Okay.
Way to go, Nina.
There you go. Thanks for all of that, both of you. And don't forget, more stock information always on our website, Zacks.com. Get over to the homepage and check it out. With Nina and Brian, I'm Terry Ruffalo.